Thank you, Rod. The penultimate game of the regular season for the Alberta rivals. The first place Stampeders invade Edmonton to battle the 10-6 Eskimos at Commonwealth Stadium.
This time of year, the running backs are featured. CJ Gable, going back to his last game in Hamilton, now has 3 straight 100-yard rushing games. His 2 starts with the Edmonton Eskimos last week did not play, but he's back in the lineup tonight. Jerome Messam, starting tailback for the Calgary Stampeders, just 49 yards from his 3rd 1,000-yard season.
Dave Dickinson called it a poor 3-phase effort against Saskatchewan last week as the Stampeders' 11-game win streak was snapped. Calgary has got a CFL record 103 games without back-to-back losses. Jason Moss's Eskimos look for a 4th consecutive win. They try to stop a 4-game losing streak against Calgary. And as Rod mentioned, Eskimos still can finish 2nd, 3rd, or 4th in the West with 2 games remaining. There's newcomer Dominique Williams back. The Stampeders win the toss and elect to receive. They've won both previous meetings this year against Edmonton, 39-18 on Labor Day and 25-22 in the rematch. Hugh O'Neill kicks it off and we're underway, and we'll get our first look at Dominique Williams on this return. And he is contained at the 30-yard line as Bo Levi Mitchell leads Calgary out after a season-low 168 net yards and only 10 first downs last week against the Rough Riders.
9-2 against the Edmonton Eskimos, but it's been a good, not great year for this offense for the Calgary Stampeders. Want to get that back on track. You mentioned his numbers from last week in the loss against Saskatchewan, lowest on the season. I think more than anything, this first-place team with 13 wins to get their offense clicking.
A balmy 14 degrees as we start play here in Edmonton. Play action fake to Messam on a roll. The pass is caught. Reggie Beggleton taken down by Arjun Colhoun up beyond the 45-yard line. A Calgary first down.
I like the start to get Bo Levi Mitchell out on the edge, get him on the run outside with a nice throwing lane and a comeback route, and good start. Get some confidence early from this offense, and beautiful night for football. They say we might have a little bit of rain, but it is nice and warm out there, and that shouldn't be a factor, the weather.
Beggleton the catch. Stampeders operating without their top 2 receivers. Marquay McDaniel out again here today, and here's Bo Levi Mitchell underneath, and cut down quickly was Kamar Jordan.
Well, I talked about Jerome Messam off the top, 49 yards from 1,000 on the season. That would be the 3rd time he accomplishes that. You mentioned the 2 top receivers. Marquay McDaniel still number 1. He's not out. Probably could have played tonight, but will play next week, I'm sure. There's Randy Richards that has to deal with Odell Willis and Philip Hunt off the edge tonight.
Shane Bergman out with an ankle injury. Spencer Wilson can't go back-to-back weeks. The other receiver missing is Markin Michelle.
Yeah.
And it's 2nd and 15 as it's brought down at the 35. A sack for Philip Hunt. That's his first of the year as the Eskimos defense is rolling early.
Let's take a look where Philip Hunt came from. He's in that sprinter stance. Look a little bit like Marcus Howard coming out of that injured Edmonton Eskimo. Just straight bull rush, and then off that bull rush right to Bo Levi Mitchell.
Just the 12th sack surrendered by the Stampeders in just over 9 games. So Maver kicking it, and it's Jamil Smith on the return, trying to bubble outside, and he gets taken down by Caron, the long snapper of the Stampeders. As Mike Riley heads out after engineering that huge comeback in the final 4.5 minutes of BC Place last week when they win in overtime after trailing by 16.
6 of the last 7 games, Mike Riley over 300-yard passing. 12 300-yard games on the season. If he gets 2 more, he ties an Edmonton record with 14.
Leader in passing yards at 52-52, but 2-8 as an Eskimo against Calgary. And he throws his strike early, a terrific catch by Zylstra. Brandon Zylstra, who was quiet last week. 3 for 32 off to a good start here. The league's leading receiver.
Well, yeah, one of the reasons, though, Chris, as you know, that he was quiet was because that Darius Bowman had his best game of the season, over 100 yards. So he saw a lot of the footballs go his direction. Brandon Zylstra had to be patient. Catches the first one out of the gate here tonight.
It'd be an issue with this receiving core only having one football. Bowman and Walker, big games last week. Here is a pass to the sideline. Pitch made by Vidal Hazelton.
CJ Gable probably could have played last week, but he rested, and Jason Moss gets him back in the lineup tonight. 3 straight 100-yard games for Gable. His 2 starts for Edmonton, 111 and 104. Colin Kelly has to deal with maybe the best defensive line in the CFL collectively. 3 guys at 9 sacks on that Calgary D-line. 1 is out in Jagarrett Davis.
Stamps with 6 sacks in the first 2 meetings, 2nd and 2, and CJ Gable met in the backfield and brought down. Tackle on the play by James Vodders to force the Eskimos offense off the field.
Well, this is just a mismatch coming off the edge to the left of your screen here. Vodders coming in, and he's in a one-on-one with Zylstra. He comes in underneath, and Zylstra has to try and handle Zach Richardson.
So a loss of 3 for CJ Gable. Tunde Adeleke is back. Hugh O'Neill with a good punt. Adeleke to 16. 50-yard punt, and Adeleke with a great return, and then hit a wall just beyond the 35-yard line.
Is that Wall Konar?
Let's have another look. What a heavy hit was it? James Tuck or Konar. Let's have a look. That's Konar with the big shoulder, turning Adeleke back. So no blood drawn on the first 2 possessions. Dave Dickinson's crew starts their 2nd series at the 37. 1 touchdown in the last 34 possessions for Calgary now, and 5 turnovers in that span. Pitch to Messam. Needs 75 to regain the rushing lead from William Powell, who lit it up last night, and he has 8 on that carry.
Take a look at some of the starters in the Eskimo defense. Philip Hunt gets his first sack in this first quarter, first sack of the year. He missed 8 games due to injury, been on and off and rotating through. Adam Konar, 34 tackles in the last 4 games and a couple of fumble recoveries, and they get Neil King back at safety.
Number 1 pass defense in the league. They hand it off to Messam, and he gets stuffed. Not much there. Had to get up to the 47. It looks like he just got edged beyond the 45. So decision here on 3rd and 2 for Dave Dickinson.
Boy, if I'm playing short yardage against this Edmonton defense, I'm running away from Elmondo Sewell. It doesn't seem to matter who they're playing against. If the team tries to get a yard on Elmondo Sewell, it's tough slugging.
Gutsy. 3rd and 2, 21 of 22. Or are they just going to try and draw Edmonton offside? Yep, that's what they're going to do. Odell's going to let them know.
Time count violation. Calgary number 19. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Strategy by Dave Dickinson. No reason to not try it. It's just a 5-yard penalty. Take the time count. But if they do move and they do flinch, and we've seen it many times, you get the free first down. So,
by the way,
strategy, yeah.
Excuse me, it looked like Odell Willis is all business today.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, coin toss is usually playtime for him, and he was very serious in this one tonight. Must be the Battle of Alberta.
Favor to punt. Wobbly punt to Jamil Smith at the 30. And Smith, after the 40-yard punt, brings it back. Tackled by Julian Wilson. Darius Bowman bounced back last week. Huge game. 9 catches, 136 against BC.
Yeah, Darius Bowman back. He's back, targeted 10 times against the BC Lions. You mentioned the 9 catches, Chris, and he was the go-to primary target for Mike Riley.
There's a burst from C.J. Gable in a first down run. 13 yards up beyond the 50 for Gable. 3 consecutive 100-yard games, 2 as a member of the Eskimos. And they go tempo offense here without a huddle at the 51. Zylstra in motion. Here comes pressure. Fake to Gable. There's Bowman. And he is bumped out in Calgary territory at the Stampeder 53.
Well, what was kind of lost too against the BC Lions was it was the breakout game for Darius Bowman, who had been struggling since coming back from injury. But what was lost in that game was that Darrell Walker had his first 100-yard game. And you remember that combination going back the last couple of years. Darrell Walker and Darius Bowman working in tandem. Looks like that's back right when they need it most.
6th time the two have hit 100 in the same game. 2nd and 4. Riley short drop. And the crosser is caught by Walker. And a first down. So there's the 1-2 punch.
Well, you can't double team. This time they're going to put Darrell Walker by himself into the boundary, the short side of the field. So if they're going to roll the coverage that way and double team him, that leaves Darius Bowman and Zylstra in one-on-ones to the field with more space. So tough to double team any one of these receivers now in the Edmonton core.
Tommy Campbell with that tackle. First down just inside the Stamps 45. Riley has to throw it in the flat for Gable. Incomplete as we set the Stampeder defense for you.
Well, Charleston Hughes, 9 sacks on the season. Micah Johnson also with 9, and Jaguar Davis, who doesn't dress for this one tonight, all vying for that title. Alex Singleton sets a Canadian record for tackles in a single season with 115 and counting. And then you go back to that secondary, and Seontae Evans, second in the team in defensive tackles with 47 on the season at the corner spot.
They've allowed 21 first quarter points all season. 2nd and 10. Riley can't find anybody, and down he goes. He gets dropped for the 2nd time, and I think it was Charleston Hughes with sack number 10 to take the league lead, and now within 1 of the Stampeder record held by Will Johnson.
Yeah, Victor Butler also with 9 on the in the sack race for the Toronto Argonauts, and you see Charleston Hughes off the top, and he comes all the way around the corner underneath, and because the coverage was good downfield, he got an extra second to get to Mike Riley.
Mentioned 21 first quarter points allowed, only 5 in the last 9 games. Big pressure on O'Neal, who gets the line drive away. And here's Adeleke. He is dumped around the 15-yard line.
Maybe should have let that one go.
So Charleston Hughes with number 10, missed the first meeting of the year against Edmonton, checks in early here today. Lost to Saskatchewan last week, ended a number of streaks. Their worst loss in 5 years, and that bottom line, the fact they have not lost back-to-back since Montreal and Toronto in July of 2012.
Yeah.
And despite 13-2-1, and already clinching first, it just feels like there's a sense of urgency for Calgary to step up today after last week, don't you think?
Well, absolutely. Starting on the offensive side of the ball and just trying to get that offense on track. It hasn't been the same since Markway McDaniel's been out of it. Of course, Bo Levi Mitchell has had that arm problem throughout the season that he's working through. Kamar Jordan and Tavares Daniels back in the lineup over the last couple of weeks.
Start at the 15, and they hand it off to Miss him. He gets brought down by Konar after pickup of about 4.
But when you think about the 20th year in first place for this franchise and John Hufnagel since returning back in 2008, the success that they've had, the great win-loss record of the head coach of John Hufnagel, but also of Dave Dickinson. Take a look at his 28-4-2 record. I mean, just remarkable. And all those streaks came to an end last week.
The 7th best in second down conversion, trying to convert here, and that ball is flipped. I thought it was high, but a chance for Jordan to bring it down. It falls incomplete.
Just sort of relaxed, didn't he, at the end of the top of the route here. Kamar Jordan, I think he was looking for an illegal contact call. Looked like he got bumped around a little bit when he broke to the corner, and then just kind of relaxed when the ball arrived. Could have got 2 hands on that.
Consecutive 2-and-outs for Calgary, and Edmonton should get decent field position here, as Meaver will stand at around his 6. Number 2 in net punting yards in the Canadian Football League. And Jamel Smith's going to field this right at midfield, just a 35-yarder. And Jamel Smith pulled down around the 49. A late flag. Caron has his second special teams tackle, and we'll sort out the penalty when we come back to Commonwealth.
During the
Well, he lost on the field and in Twitter last week, but he still an active tweeter. With more on that, let's head to the sidelines. Here's Dustin Hilson.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Bo Levi Mitchell has become one of the best Twitter follows in the Canadian Football League. And now, even though one of his tweets last week admittedly backfired at Duron Carter, he doesn't plan on changing his approach. He enjoys the ability to connect with the community, and he thinks it's important for all star players in the league to be active online in order to help the league grow.
Oh, isn't that the truth? I mean, get out there in social media. It was a ton of fun to talk about it. Of course, we showed it in the broadcast as well, his tweets back and forth with Duron, and he owned it at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, went back and gave Duron Carter his props for the interception for a touchdown.
Cool that Chris Carter ended up getting back to Bo and saying, you know, love watching you play.
Yeah.
And
thanks for throwing one to my son. He didn't say that. I added that part.
But saw some mutual respect after it was all done. Here's Gable, and he plows back across midfield. An illegal block against the Eskimos moved them back, but Gable gets 9 on a first down carry, and he now has 19 in the game.
Yeah, when you take a look at the top running backs in the league, C.J. Gable is second in yards per carry in his average, in his run average. James Wilder Jr. in Toronto's number 1. He's over 7, but C.J. Gable's at 6.1. This was a nice pickup for Edmonton heading into the playoffs.
Second and short, the Eskimos number 1 in second down conversions. And well, they should have one there, but Gable driven back. And that is Randy Colling making his first start, the number 1 draft choice of the Stampeders.
Big body in there, 6'5", 312.
And it is going to be third down. So the number 6 pick overall, a guy with Arena League experience. Been on the roster, but has not suited up for a game until today. And on third down, there's the first down for Mike Riley. Jason Moss's team also number 1 on offense in fewest 2-and-outs. Number 1 in yards, number 1 in passing yards.
And time of possession. So, you know, they're
offensive touchdowns,
yeah.
So they're pretty important categories.
They really are. I mean, they keep their defense fresh, starting to build as they head into the playoff run.
Lots of weapons. Go 2 back here. McCarty stays in the block. Take a shot for Hazelton. And incomplete. Tommy Campbell almost came up with the interception.
Well, boy, it looked early.
Campbell needs some help.
Yeah, it looked early on that Hazelton might win this jump ball. Then Campbell kept battling, ripped it out of there, had a chance for the pick, and nice little move in the press coverage. Tommy Campbell does a great job of catching up after being beat. I thought Hazelton was going to win the jump ball there. Campbell had a shot at it. It did hit the turf and bounce. And what happened to Tommy Campbell?
Does Hazelton come down on his leg? Doesn't look like it.
Maybe just hit that knee when he laid. Grabbed the right knee. That's a...
And Charleston Hughes is also down, so that's double trouble for the Stampeders. Although Hughes looks like he's going to be okay.
He was going one-on-one on Colin Kelly, I believe. He was up here in the line, and CJ Gable, one of the best blocking backs in the game. I think he's going to come up on the outside and chip him. And here comes Gable here. That's a chip to help out his tackle, and that caught Charleston Hughes.
So likely a stinger for him as he bounced back and headed off. Julian Wilson now gets his first action on the corner. First-year man out of Oklahoma on the field corner. 2nd and 10. Riley steps up. He'll take a shot downfield and incomplete, intended for Bowman.
Boy, he wanted to just put that on the line. He saw the high coverage over top of Bowman from Joshua Bell. So when Riley had the open throwing lane, he steps up into it. He wants to put this on a line, just a laser beam to get it to Bowman, but that means it's got to be dead on accurate, and it was just a little out of his reach. Again, though, almost to where he could have put two hands on that.
Delicate will let this one bounce, but it stays in play. It'll be a no-yards penalty against Edmonton. You thought the previous punt to Delicate might have been able to let that one bounce into the end zone.
Yeah, I've said this before, but the rule of thumb is if you're standing as a returner on the 10-yard line or closer to your goal line, anytime it comes to you or over your head, you let it go, give up the single, depending on the game, of course. If it's late in the game and you can't give up one, that changes the scenario. But he was on the 9 on the last one, and the field position would change drastically if he lets it go in for a single. Now that one, the bounce, favored Edmonton.
Mark Gillum's squad has 12 big returns on punt returns this year, with Roy Finch, who isn't expected to return to the lineup until the postseason, and a Delegate. Between them, they have 5 punt return touchdowns. So another deep field position start for Calgary. Mitchell to the sidelines, a catch for Tavares Daniels. Aaron Grimes and Johnny Adams on the boundary side, combined on the tackle after 7 for the Notre Dame product.
Yeah, back in the lineup last week, but Bo Levi Mitchell needs to get that chemistry back with Tavares Daniels. He was targeted just 4 times last week, had just 2 catches. Real quiet game for Tavares Daniels. If they can get him going, just like Edmonton last week got a Darius Bowman going, bodes well for Calgary heading into the playoff run.
2nd and 3. Crosser over the middle and almost intercepted off Daniels and dangerously deflected in that secondary, but nobody there for Edmonton to pick it off.
Did Tavares Daniels know that he was the primary target here? He gets his head around real late, almost like he was looking for linebackers. Now, Adam Konar has been very active in the Edmonton linebacking corps. Probably saw that on film, took a peek to see where he was, and didn't find the football.
So the third 2 and out. And they have come in succession here as we head into the final minute of the opening quarter. 46-yard punt, and Smith might have something on the return. Cashing up to the 53, 13 on the return with 51 seconds left. Another Bomber loss and back-to-back wins by Edmonton would give the Eskimos home field for the Western Semi. Crushed with that huge hit off the edge. Shaq Richardson seems to be a story every time Calgary plays Edmonton.
10 tackles, 3 picks, coming off the top of the edge here, and Mike Riley does not see it coming. He's looking short side of the field after the play action, and tattoo by Shaq Richardson.
How tough is Mike Riley?
Good move by Richardson, too, to keep his helmet out of that contact.
Loss of 8, fortunate to get it back. Micah Johnson, a big hit on Riley. Catch made by Hazelton. It'll be short of a first down, but that was 2 plays and a couple headaches for Mike Riley.
In Calgary territory down to the 50-yard line.
So we played some stingy work here from both sides in a defensive battle here after 1 quarter at Commonwealth. Eskimos don't allow a point. That was some tough defense in the opening 15.
Yeah, both defenses playing very well, and that was a question for me coming in with the Edmonton Eskimo defense to see if they can continue to improve. They have over the last few games. Their issue was their run defense. Jerome Messam with just 3 carries for 13 yards in the first quarter, but Edmonton, Chris, has not taken advantage of this field position.
Yeah, they certainly had the edge there. A couple of possessions around midfield, but unable to score. But the Eskimo defense looking good without Kenny Ladler, their best player so far in 2017 on D. There's a delicate, he let it drop, but it hit him, and so he's got to play it. And he'll scramble to get it back to the 15, so not a bad return. Well, after all that.
Well, Delicate is figuring it out. I mean, he's probably been told on the sideline to just let that one go into the end zone, but he's just not been able to execute it. First, it was a good punt that had backspin on the last one, and this one, he didn't get out of the way enough.
Yeah. Well, that's the way the scoreboard looked at the end of the first quarter. Rather hospitable of these Edmonton folks to give Calgary a bonus 3.
Yeah, there hasn't been any field goals, any points scored. And if you're going to cheat, cheat for the home team, no?
And now one scoreboard has it 101-0. It's a blowout here.
Yeah, they'll get that figured out.
Here's the first carry from scrimmage for Dominique Williams. No relation to Terry Williams, the other backup running back for the Stampeders. Dominique out of Wagner getting his first Calgary Stampeder action.
Look at those numbers rushing at Wagner. You get 4,435 yards. You can run the rock. And take a look at Dominique Williams tonight.
5'9", 205. A guy with speed and power. Second down, Mitchell throws, got an open target, and it's Rory Kohler with the catch and a first down, wrestled down by Neil King, who returns to the Eskimo secondary.
Well, the question with new backs is always, will they be able to protect in the passing game? And it looked like Dominic Williams sat in there nicely for Bo Levi Mitchell. He's looking for stunts, he's looking to help, he's looking to pick up, bam, right there. Nice block, right in the middle to give Bo an extra second to throw it.
Just the second first down for the Stampeders. Up at the Calgary 34, here comes the heat, and the screen is thrown into the turf, incomplete. Now Mondo Sewell was leading the charge.
Well-executed screens are where the offensive line will take a couple of counts. They'll block, you gotta block for a second. So you're gonna step up and block for a second. But once you get that done, then you let him go. This was too quick to execute the screen because Dominic Williams couldn't get out there.
Still trying to fix the clock. It just doesn't want to go down to 0 for the scoreboard operator. A pass over the middle is incomplete. Off the hands of Breskison. We've got a flag in the offensive backfield. Not sure if Mitchell got hit late or whether it's a hold. Here's Tom Valesi.
Holding, Calgary number 64. That penalty be declined. Third down.
That's Justin Renfro, who's in at left guard for Sheen Bergman.
And this was a holding call, textbook takedown on Justin Renfro.
So Maver to punt once again, 5th consecutive punt for Calgary. Outside the numbers for Smith, who brings it back towards midfield, but not going very far. Boy, that cover team doing the job, and this time it's Riley Jones out of UBC with the tackle.
They're all here tonight.
Here's Gable straight ahead, and he'll bull rush for an extra couple to the 46. That's a tough 8 yards for CJ Gable.
Gable coming in, one of 3 running backs with 300-yard games. Singleton and him were going to be matched up all night tonight. That's one of the best middle linebackers in the game, number 49.
And now on 2nd and 2, short yardage there. Eskimos lost 3 different running backs last week to injury. Ladarius Perkins, Pascal Lochard, and Alexander Dupuis. And it's going to be 3rd down here. It's a couple of times on 2nd and 2. The Eskimos have not been able to convert.
Well, with Micah Johnson, he's like a Mondo Sewell when it comes to run defense in these short yardage situations. You take the ball off the line of scrimmage and you go to CJ Gable, you give the D-line a chance to get back there. That's why you see quarterback sneak more than anything here. You're going to go straight ahead. They're going like shotgun.
30 yards. Give Gable the ball, and he gets stopped.
I don't know. Singleton came around the edge. He got a hand on him. But this is the risk of going shotgun and then taking the ball 4 or 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, backing up, and then giving it. Now you've given the defense a chance to get there. There's Singleton coming around the corner, Klassen in there. And Jack Richardson again, yeah.
Danny Mason, another newcomer at the bottom of the pile, was holding on. So Devon Claiborne's team,
he like that.
Comes up with another takeaway. 42nd of the year. That's their 13th turnover on downs. And that might discourage the Eskimos from any more short yardage gambles. So finally decent field position, and Jerome Messam is 2nd level and more. First down run for Messam, crashing down around the 32-yard line.
Got to get someone out in front of Jerome Messam, get to that 2nd level. Justin Renfro comes out from the guard spot. Watch 64 on the pull. He gets that kick out block right there to get things started on Euclid Cummings. That gives Messam the hole. Once he has that, he just hits it and gets to that 2nd level.
4 carries, 28 yards, so 979 on the season for the big train. And right back to him. This time upended by Philip Hunt at around the 30. So just a couple that time for Messam.
Boy, those trap plays though are nice when they work and they're executed like that. When you have a pulling guard that comes out and seals a defensive lineman, kicks him out, opens up a hole for the back. That was a nice block by Justin Renfro.
Messam 61 and 48 yards in the first 2 meetings against Edmonton. 2nd and long, Mitchell to throw, and he's on the money for Kamar Jordan. Brandon Thompson, who replaces Kenny Ladler at the strong side linebacker spot, makes the tackle.
Just amazing. A defensive stop on 3rd down just switches the field, puts it back now to advantage Calgary, and now Bo Levi Mitchell, Jerome Messam getting this offense going and inside that red zone. Can they take advantage of good field position?
Brandon Thompson shaken up, so there'll be another adjustment there. I think Mike Benavides likes when we say strong side linebacker. It's a dime back in his defense, and he'll have a word with me later.
Well,
he's got a more important issue: who goes in there for Brandon Thompson, who replaced Kenny Ladler.
Yeah, Ladler's out for this one. Thompson goes in there. They put Forrest Hightower in Brandon Thompson's spot.
Got Chris Edwards and Koshi Mwamba's possibilities to come into the secondary. But right now we'll step aside as Thompson gets worked on the ankle. Comes in for the injured Brandon Thompson. Stamps with a first down. Edmonton 14. Looking to break the ice here. 6 minutes into the 2nd quarter. And again it's Messam. And he will plow for 5 more. And brought down by Chris Edwards, who has just checked in defensively.
Yeah, right back to that same trap play with Justin Renfro, pulling guard coming out and trying to kick out, open up a hole for Jerome Messam. And if it's going to work and keep working, just come right back to it. There's the pull by number 64, that left guard in Renfro. He's out and trying to kick out Philip Hunt or whoever's playing on the edge, and has executed it well twice in a row now.
2nd and 6. Low shotgun snap. Throw incomplete. Begelton can't hang on with Aaron Grimes in the vicinity, and the field goal unit will have to check in for Calgary.
Yeah, right at first down marker territory too. I mean, this is just a flat out drop. Begelton's got to have that one. Can't throw it any better. Well, what an addition Aaron Grimes has. To get him back has really solidified this secondary for the Edmonton Eskimos. Great speed, and he's a great cover man back there. And every game we've done since he's returned, I've seen 3 or 4 knockdowns. He's always in great position.
Difference maker, huh?
Yeah. 5th start in a row for Grimes.
But a good year for Rennie Paredes. Looking for a league-leading 51st, and he puts that through. And now the scoreboard's right. Calgary has a 3-0 lead. Just when it looked like the Eskimos defense was finally starting to get healthy, Brandon Thompson will have to be taken to the dressing room on the cart after the ankle injury.
Yeah, did it on his own here on this break. Right there, you see that left ankle. It jammed into the turf and twisted inside on him.
So after the Paredes field goal, it's the Eskimos first down at their own 35, and Mike Riley going for Zylstra, can't make the catch.
Ciante Evans almost snuck underneath that one. Riley had to throw it right to that sideline, or it was in trouble of being intercepted by Evans. He knows the corner's going to fall off his guy. Watch number 0 now. If that ball is thrown with any more air on it, I think Ciante Evans has a better shot at it than Zylstra. But he had to throw it right outside to the sideline and hope his receiver could come up with a tough catch.
19 catches, 314 yards for Zylstra against the Stampeders this year. 2nd and 10 again. Riley takes a hellacious hit, but Fidel Hazelton has the catch and a first down.
I'm not sure there's a quarterback in the league. I'm sure they'll all tell you they've taken hits like this, but I'm not sure there's a quarterback in the league that gets hit like this more often than Mike Riley. I mean, it's almost like he completely ignores it and says, I know that I'll take 3 or 4 a game like this, but I'm just going to lock into my receiver, and I really don't care. I mean, he gets rocked again. That's about 4 times tonight.
Brandon Smith with that big hit, 17 yards, and back to Hazelton on the slant, close to another first down. Thurman the tackle. That's the 4th catch for Fidel Hazelton, the Ringo Starr of the Fab Four. When you consider Zylstra, Bowman, and Walker.
That's a good one. In for Duke Williams.
So Riley was 7 completions so far, and 4 have gone to Hazelton. Zylstra and Bowman on the waggle. Handoff inside, and Gable shrugged off the first hit and able to surge ahead for maybe a couple when it didn't look like anything was there.
Riley, one of the toughest guys in the league. Forget about position. Not as tough as quarterbacks, but one of the toughest guys in the league. And he gets hit so hard, he's rearranging equipment to try and get back in the huddle and get back to the next play. It doesn't seem to faze him.
I mean, you're right. He's been hit, well, at least 3 times in this game where it looked like he might not get up. But he hasn't missed a snap. They draw the Stampeders offside here, but that'll make
offside.
Well, the video command center, video official giving the referee, Tom Valencia, some more information on this.
Just in case somebody flinched on that offensive line.
Procedure, Edmonton number 64.
Wow.
5-yard penalty, second down.
So they're going to call right tackle D'Anthony Batiste.
Well, let's take a look. D'Anthony Batiste is right there. And he's in a 2-point stance, so the hand not on the ground. Movement by the D. That took a while. I think they got it wrong. Both Calgary defenders were in the neutral zone before Batiste moved.
Video guy wouldn't get it wrong, would he? Second and long. And Riley airing it out. Wants Walker, got it! What a great readjustment to the football by the Skywalker for 45 yards.
We got to get the bond together. If Hazelton is Ringo, then McCartney is Walker, and we'll give Zylstra John Lennon. Well, what an adjustment. I mean, he has to find it, and this is very, very difficult. He's looking over the inside shoulder on the straight go route, and then to turn your head, lose the football, and find it in time, very, very difficult.
Going to the red zone for the first time. First and goal. Riley's hit again, end zone, touchdown, Darius Bowman.
It's a great route and great call when you're down on the 5-yard line, because it's almost impossible to cover. When Riley's going to bootleg out of here and wait for Bowman to come all the way across the field, whether it's a zone look or a man coverage behind it, very difficult to cover, but you need time to make the throw, and Mike Riley had just enough.
6 plays, 75 yards. The Bowman touchdown, the convert from Swayze Waters. It's the Eskimos with a 7-3 lead, under 5 minutes left here in the first half.
You need a couple extra steamboats to make this throw, because Bowman is on the short side of the field to Riley's left on the snap of the football. I'm going to show you where Bowman's going to come from and how Riley needs some time. Bowman's coming from over here all the way across. Riley's going to bootleg out of here, and you need a couple of extra steamboats to get this out and to make sure you can make this throw, because you're waiting on Bowman to get all the way over there. Waters is there. He takes another hit, but has just enough time. There's Bowman. Bowman on this crossing route. If this is pressure right now on Riley, he's not open yet. He needs the extra 4 or 5 steps, and now Ciante Evans got to come up and cover his man. No way he can get back there to help out.
28 touchdown pass for Riley on the year for number 4. Dominic Williams got some speed. Makes his way back around the 35-yard line. So Riley at 126 yards passing. Bo Levi Mitchell 5 for 10, 49 here in the first half. See what kind of response the Stampeders can engineer. Last 5 games, Mitchell has averaged 230 yards passing. Over the middle, almost hit. There he is. Aaron Grimes on the prowl again.
Boy, and he just brings confidence to the group. I mean, you know, when he makes his 2 or 3 plays a game, this is going to be one of them. He jumps the route and comes down hard on Daniels here. This is zone look, but that reaction time to come out of the cannon like that, make the play. Now, he doesn't get the interception, but that gives the rest of the group confidence. They know they can drop that guy into the middle, and Aaron Grimes got the speed to close like that.
Eskimos show pressure, 2nd and 10. Here they come. Mitchell gets it away, and it's caught. Daniels, excuse me, down the rail has the catch, and a huge play of 38 yards for Calgary.
Takes the hit from Aaron Grimes. It was a foot race to get there. Grimes in a 2-deep zone defensive look, and he's the deep defender, has half the field. He holds up on that inside seam for an extra second, gets to Daniels, but not before he makes the catch. Bo Levi Mitchell put it right in that hole.
Daniels with a step that time on Johnny Adams. So the Stamps in business. First down at the Edmonton 37. A bust here. Mitchell just throws it away. He went one way, messed him the other. And they'll reboot on 2nd and 10.
Quick decision by the quarterback in Mitchell here. When it's broken like this, and the play action fake, part of the reason was the snap. The snap took Mitchell outside to catch it outside of his cylinder, and he took the timing of the play away. He throws it out of bounds.
And had to, because Odell Willis was in the neighborhood. 2nd and 10. Final play before the 3-minute warning, over the middle and incomplete. Intended for Jordan. It looked like it might have been behind him and up for grabs. Stamps fortunate that was not intercepted. So we hit the 3-minute warning. The field goal unit coming on. 7-3 Edmonton.
3 minutes to halftime. We'll talk about all the hits Mike Riley continues to take, the growing trend of receivers trying to one-hand the ball, and the impact of Winnipeg's loss earlier today at home against the BC Lions. That and more at the half. Let's go back to CC and Suits.
Kind of a playoff feel to this one, Rod. Some tough defense, and here's Paredes. Justin Medlock had 7 earlier, so he is the new leader. Paredes looking for his 52nd of the year. Now he is one back of Medlock, and the Stampeders one back of the Eskimos with 2:34 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, Paredes is chasing that Medlock record of 60 in a season. Has a chance to do that, have Winnipeg in the final game of the regular season, and a whole half to play here.
Well, Mike Riley on that last series climbed another step on the all-time list and just happened to pass John Hufnagel into 28th in all-time quarterback passing.
Played against John Hufnagel, and John Hufnagel was one of the best quarterbacks I ever played against that could roll to his right. Now, he wasn't a real runner, but to roll to his right and throw it back across the grain and make throws that you thought there's no physical way he could make that.
Riley connects with Bowman again. Hanging on with Shaq Richardson, but Bowman, with his second effort, gets close to the first down. And it's been a different number 4 the last 2 weeks, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, he just, he got started. It's, when you're playing horse or you're playing 21, and you got to get that first one to get on a roll. He finally got it against the BC Lions.
Needs 91 yards coming in for 9,000 in his career. And so far, 3 catches, 20 yards for Bowman on the night.
Well, now the next step for him to get right back to that form for Darius Bowman is the deep ball. Because he had the 9 catches, but he's been targeted 13 times since returning and only had 3 deep catches past 20. So he needs to get back and catch that deep ball.
First down 46, Gable the handoff, and Charleston Hughes hanging on, but look at the power of Gable as he carries some Stampeders up to the 54 for 8 yards, and a little slow to get up.
Well, and this is the best run defense in the league. I mean, this is the #1 ranked run defense with Alex Singleton, and he takes that entire pile for another 4 yards.
Sets up 2nd and 2. They'll swing it out here. First down catch by Gable out of the backfield with Singleton making another tackle.
Boy, Gable, real strong left arm to try and break that tackle, and if he does, he probably picks up 5, maybe 10 more, because he's into the secondary. But a nice tackle, Alex Singleton hanging on.
First down into Stamp territory with 90 seconds left, and Riley changing the play call. Is he going to get it off? They just do.
Going deep.
Here comes Heat. And down he goes. And it's Charleston Hughes with a record-tying sack. Second of the game, his 11th of the year, and he's dead even with Will Johnson on the all-time Stampeder list.
Just a little hesitation on Colin Kelly coming off that edge, and then puts another gear to catch Mike Riley from behind.
Second and 19.
Third sack of the game for the Stamps. They have 3 in each meeting against Edmonton so far this season, and a huge loss all the way back to the Edmonton 48.
He wins the sack title this year. It'll be the 3rd time in his career he's done it.
Has the lead now. Riley guns that. Catch made by Walker, wrestled down by Evans, well short of the first down at the Calgary 53.
Calgary territory. Taken down to the 52.
He's tied. Will Johnson, Calgary history, and as I mentioned, it'll be the 3rd time taking the title if he can do it. Now we've got some football to be played. Victor Butler plays again next week. Micah Johnson's got another half. He's at 9.
Trying to become the 11th player in CFL history to hit 100 career sacks. Eskimos had 13 on the field, but get the right complement as O'Neill punts it away. And Delicate lets that one bounce by, and did he touch it? And it's going to be a single point. That time he wanted to field it and avoid giving up a point, but he misplays it.
Yeah, exactly. It's been an adventure for Adeleke in the return game. Started out with the wrong decision, then just has some execution issues. That one he wants to keep out because they can kill the clock at the half here and save that point. Game management, and doesn't play the football properly. He's been a good returner all season, though, and contributed in a lot of ways.
We'll see if that's a significant point on the night. Veteran coach with a rookie returner. He hasn't made many mistakes this season.
Tough to coach them, too, because you want to keep that instinct. You want to make sure that they still feel real confident back there.
And a massive big gainer for Messam all the way to midfield. But a flag down, and is it coming back? It is. It's a holding call against the Stampeders.
Yeah, but you look at Messam over the last few games, Chris, and I think he's...
Calgary number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
I think 2 for Renfro in the game.
I think he's running better in this one than I've seen him in probably the last 3 or 4 games. He was banged up. He took some hits. He took some hits low. About 4 or 5 weeks ago, they rested him for 1 game, and Terry Williams came in, had a big game, over 100 yards when he started 1. But this is back to the Messam that started the season. He's got to jump in his step tonight.
Would have got him to 1,000 for the 4th career time, but the carry taken off the board, and now it's 1st and 20 with 23 seconds left. Little dump pass here for Bagleton up to the 30-yard line. And it will be 2nd and around 15.
6 of 5 on the play. 2nd and 15.
Just 1 touchdown the last 38 possessions for the Stampeders.
And yet 13 wins. I know they're coming off a loss, but 13 wins, 1st place in the West, and haven't scored a touchdown in that long, or just 1 in that many possessions. Wow.
Just take a knee here, and that'll do it for an opening half. Dominated by the defense. A touchdown for Darius Bowman. Mike Riley took some hits. Has been a battle of Alberta so far tonight. 8-6 Eskimos before we start the second half. Dustin Nielsen's with Charleston Hughes.
2 more sacks so far for you. The next one will be 100. Could be a big one in this football game. What's the message there at halftime for you guys?
You know, we're playing a good game right now. You know, they're playing a pretty solid game. And, you know, we just got to go into this next half and try to take over and get some separation.
Defense has been playing terrific. When you have a quarterback like Bo Levi Mitchell, you kind of just assume if you keep it close, he'll take over?
Yeah, just give him as many opportunities as he can to touch the ball and get the ball in his hands, man. And, you know, we believe that he's going to be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, he had a couple of knockdowns in the first half as he ties Will Johnson on the all-time Stampeder list. And as Dustin mentioned, one away from 100 in a distinguished CFL career.
That's 3 sacks in a game and a half. He had 1 last week. 2 tonight already.
Chris Edwards deep as Paredes kicks it off. And it will be Jamil Smith up over the 30 and dragged down around the 33-yard line. One of the stories of the first half was the punishment Mike Riley took.
Well, he stands in there like better than any quarterback in the league to get a completion downfield. One of the toughest quarterbacks, one of the toughest players in the game, and he took a bunch in that first half. Some major hits, got up unfazed, including that touchdown throw right there to Darius Bowman back of the end zone. Had to take a hit to get that one done too.
Took 7 hits, 9 pressures, and 3 sacks by the Stampeders in the opening half. Riley going to the air, and a crosser should have been picked off, intended for Zylstra, and in out of the hands of Brandon Smith, who had his first of the season last week.
Those hits have a ripple effect on a quarterback, and sometimes even though he's got up unfazed, it can affect your accuracy trying to throw that football and get it out there. That was just way out in front of Zylstra. His time to speed there, Brandon Smith had a crack at it.
Second and 10. Play action. Riley going deep downfield, and he's got Zylstra, who's loose. And it's going to be an Eskimo touchdown. Brandon Zylstra, 77 yards.
Riley knew one thing immediately. They caught Calgary in a safety blitz. When you're sending the safety, it's man-to-man in behind. Number 11 in the middle of your screen is Joshua Bell. And Joshua Bell's coming through the A-gap. That's a safety blitz, man-to-man down the field, so he's going to his deep man. That's Zylstra. Nice throw over the outside shoulder. Jamar Wall trying to get a penalty flag on it. He felt was a push-off. No flags. Touchdown from Mike Riley.
Fifth touchdown catch of the year for Zylstra. Extra point for Waters. And it's a 9-point Eskimo lead.
When the safety's coming, Chris, as we've seen many times watching this game, you got to play basically man-to-man behind it. And here comes the safety, Josh Bell. Here's the corner route. Take a look at where Jamar Wall has to play. With no safety in the middle, you have to take away the inside. Stop it there. Now, when you're taking the inside, that obviously leaves outside leverage to the receiver, but the ball has to be thrown on the money. Go ahead and roll it, guys. Jamar Wall is in great position, tries to cut under, and that ball thrown just up over that outside shoulder. What a throw from Mike Riley.
So a pair of touchdown passes in this game by Riley, and now 29 on the season. And for Zylstra, his biggest play of the year. 76 was his high, but 77 on that reception. So over 1,600 yards for Zylstra, and now 96 catches on the year. As that Stampeder defense mulls over the last play. Well, that was misplayed by Dominic Williams, and he's going to have to take a knee here and give up a point, which is a wise decision after the misplay.
What a season for Brandon Zelstra. As he gets closer and closer to that Edmonton record and Brian Kelly's numbers in 1983 at 18-12.
That play just kind of brings Kelly maybe into range. It looked like it was a long shot, but a couple of explosion plays like that, and that Brian Kelly record might be in jeopardy. So too the Calgary mark of not losing back-to-back in 103 games. Here's the hits to Anthony Parker, and Aaron Grimes has been busy defensively with his 4th tackle of the night.
Well, and the Calgary Stampeder offense still trying to find a way to get on track here. I mean, this is something we haven't been used to seeing with this Calgary offense, just struggling. And you look at Bo Levi Mitchell's numbers, 7 of 15 for 92 yards, just coming off his lowest numbers game of the week the year last week.
Second down, that throw is caught, a completion to Daniels and a first down. Just the 6th first down for the Stamps, who had 122 net yards in the first half.
You know, I agree with Jock Climby at halftime saying, you know, he wants to judge the passing game and judge Bo Levi Mitchell once they get Marquay McDaniel back, and they got Marquay McDaniel and Tavares Daniels and Kamar Jordan all on the field at the same time. That hasn't happened very often this year. But they might not. I mean, what if they don't? There's other teams that have gone through injuries as well, and there's enough talent out there with Jordan and Daniels that they should be better than they are right now throwing the football.
Justin Renfrew shaken up, but just on that, it's like they need the band back together.
Yeah.
Renfrew, the left guard, gets attention, so we will step aside and be right back to Commonwealth. At cravetv.ca. So Renfrew to the sideline, Spencer Wilson, who came back last week after 6 games on the disabled list, into the game at left guard. Guy who's played every position on that Calgary offensive line this year. There's a completion to Parker and another first down as the Stampeders try to respond as they get it down into Edmonton territory.
Just counting on the play action here as they get a little change motion and a hot route here. The little play action fake to Dominique Williams opens up the hot route because linebackers in Adam Konar, he jumps up to stop the run, and in behind him is Parker. 20-yard gain for Anthony Parker.
First down, Edmonton 38. 5 receivers and a fake to Williams. Mitchell stands in and now throws underneath. The pass is caught at the 33-yard line. Daniels with the catch. Johnny Adams there defensively.
I think one of the ways that the Calgary can get back on track, and especially against Edmonton to test them, is to go back to some more Jerome Messam. And on that first half, 6 carries for Messam, because you saw how important that play action fake was, or Dominic Williams for that matter. But go back to the run game.
Just 1 carry for Williams so far. 2nd and 5. Williams releases, he catches the football and cuts it back in for a first down. Showed some quickness there and moves the sticks.
Yeah, and I like how he just went straight downhill. He's got his hips around, he got his pad level down. He knew where he was on the field, and this is important because sometimes you'll see a back try and make moves and dance here. He knew where he was. He needed 1 cutback and then lower his shoulders to get the first down, and that extra push got him that extra yard that he needed.
Mitchell 5 for 5 on the drive. First down. Gets it back in.
There you go.
And the big guy drives down to the 20. A late flag after the 5-yard carry.
It's been an issue for this Edmonton defense, stopping the run. They're ranked 8th in the league coming in, giving up over 100 yards, and that's in that they've improved over the last couple of weeks.
This one coming back on a hold, it looks like.
Calgary number 59. 10-yard penalty Repeat first down.
That's Richards, so that's a couple of good Messam runs that have been taken off the board.
Like that, though. I like the teammate and Jerome Messam just come out. Hey, no problem there. I got your back. Don't worry about that. Gives Randy Richards a little pat on the back there just to say, it's okay. Let's take a look at what he does here. Steps out. He's okay there. Odell Willis chopping away and then throws him to the ground. Penalties were a problem for Calgary last week against Saskatchewan.
Goes first and 20. And underneath it's Messam again out of the backfield. Got the 10 back and more to the 20-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and 5, 2nd and manageable, as Messam has his 30th catch of the season.
That was the biggest surprise, I think, for me in that game against Saskatchewan. Dave Dickinson has done such a nice job of teaching discipline and not taking the bad penalties. A couple of unnecessary roughness penalties last week after the whistle type penalties that really hurt them against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Got away from it. There's been a couple of holdings up front, but got away from it tonight.
Last 5 games, only Hamilton has more penalties than the Calgary Stampeders. 2nd and 5, second read is Tavares Daniels, and he's got a first down. Adams again the tackle, but it's 1st and goal from just inside the 10.
This is a real nice pickup of a first down here, and watch how Mitchell, once he gets in that groove, he'll start to do these extra things. Hold it right there, stop it there, guys. Look where he's looking. That's just to look off the defense, influence the defensive backs. Come and look where I'm going, and then flip the hips around, step into the throw, and they convert after getting that penalty for holding.
Best looking Calgary drive in quite some time. And they cap it, 4 receivers near side. Here comes pressure underneath. Hot. Anthony Parker, touchdown. Stretched out to break the plane. And it is a Stampeder touchdown.
What an effort. What an effort to cross the goal line. Anthony Parker, first of all, great athleticism to get the right hand down. He gets chopped here, and he should be down about the 2-yard line, but watch, he gets the right hand, keeps his balance, step and dive, crosses the plane. Nice.
3rd touchdown of the year for Parker. And the 2nd touchdown in 40 possessions for Mitchell and the Stamps.
Well, that's the best drive I've seen in converting on 1st and 20 after the holding call. That could be something that kickstarts this offense.
Beretta's the extra point. Parker, the 8th reception of the drive as Mitchell goes 8 for 8 to get the Stampeders back in it with 8:28 to go, 3rd quarter. 5 yards.
Good play action. Anthony Parker gets things started, but to convert on 1st and 20 is the type of football that can get you back on track. I think Bo Levi Mitchell was seeing it in that series better than he has for the last couple of games. That was 8 for 8, 85 yards, even though it was a 75-yard drive with a 10-yard penalty.
First touchdown offensively in the last 2. Look out. Here's Jamil Smith. Jamil Smith inside the 40 and finally dragged down at the Calgary 33. The Eskimos haven't had many big returns this year, but they get one from Jamil Smith here. It's a 64-yarder.
You can't coach speed, and this is straight speed. They get the wedge going, and the wedge gives them the first hole. And just a cutback that slows them down is just a bit there, or else he scores. Well, but a quick answer to get Mike Riley excellent field position, in field goal range already.
64-yard kick return, and now it's Gable trying to find some room off the right side, and it's shut down by Alex Singleton.
Hey, Gabrielle, I promise you we're going to touchdown. I say, hey, love you, little girl.
Parker, the
Everybody
touchdown.
at home, I love you guys.
Happy birthday, Papa.
And although the drive was 75 yards because of the penalty, Mitchell 8 for 8 and 85 yards. 2nd and 8. And Riley, corner route, Walker, incomplete. Jack Richardson in coverage. Walker, I think, wants a challenge here.
That's the signal. You've got to believe that's the signal to Jason Moss. He's taking a look. Moss is trying to take a look before he uses his challenge. Comes in on that bunch. Number 87 on the corner route.
Challenge flags out.
It wasn't when the ball arrived. I think that play from Shaq Richardson was fine. There looked like a stumble as he came out of his break. As Darrell Walker made that corner route break.
Edmonton is challenging. There was pass interference on their receiver, number 87. We'll review the play.
Well, you see the success rate for the Eskimos so far. We'll see if it improves on this verdict.
After review, we have accidental pass interference on Calgary number 35. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There was a stumble when Darrell Walker came out of the break, and it looked like Shaq Richardson may have just tripped him up, tripped Darrell Walker up a little bit. Watch the stumble as soon as he makes that cut. Right here, a little stumble there. They clipped heels. That's accidental pass interference. So it's not on the 1-yard line. It's a 10-yard penalty. About a first down.
So a call we've seen, I think, 3 times now this season, and it goes in favor of the Eskimos. First down at the 20. Gable inside, and he's got 3 to 4 on that carry.
But for the offense to back up the decision by their head coach in Jason Moss to challenge this, when he looked at it, he had to know too that it would at best be accidental, which is only a 10-yard, which doesn't guarantee them the major. So to get full advantage from that challenge, they need to put it in the end zone here and get 7.
It's almost like because the momentum had shifted, it was an important time for them to
that's part of it too. Good point.
2nd and 7. Look out. Riley got him away. Bowman off his shoe tops. And there is Bowman. Touchdown.
There you go. Back their head coach. They made it happen. What a catch by Bowman.
Touchdown grab, and Bowman's got 2 in the game.
Mike Riley just basically getting rid of this one because the pocket was collapsing, and I thought that was going to be too low.
Look at that hit.
But Bowman off the shoe top. Catches it clean, doesn't touch the ground at all, and away he goes. Does he cross the plane? Yep. Touchdown, Edmonton. What an answer.
So Bowman's got 5 on the year. That's the 30th touchdown pass of the season for Mike Riley. And Waters adds the convert. So Jamil Smith set it up after Calgary's touchdown march. The Eskimos with a quick response.
Boy, that was some kind of catch. I mean, for Darius Bowman to make this look so smooth going down that low. I mean, we've seen receivers catch them down there, but you usually give up your body, go down and have to stop running to do it. Basically dive for it to get your hands underneath it. Now the pocket collapses and Riley takes another hit, but what a catch to keep running when you reach down that far to get it.
Kind of a different version of the catch radius of the big wingspan that he has. That's sure-handed stuff, though. Well,
that radius comes down to the shoe tops as well above his head. And to keep running, get outside, and break the tackle of Shaq Richardson. That's a nice play.
Us guys who can't touch our toes, require that kind of work.
Exactly. That's much more impressive, isn't it? And a good challenge because it worked out for Jason Moss.
And that one skips to Williams, and he'll bring it back to the 30. big contact, and
Let that go out of bounds.
Williams let that go out of bounds. If it did ricochet out of bounds, the field position would have been much better.
Calgary's a bit of an adventure on all the decisions, but that was another big hit on the teams. We've seen a bunch. The Battle of Alberta is
that's
alive and
James
well.
Tuck, 5-year man out of York, who stands his ground and makes the play.
That was going straight out of bounds.
Well, let's see if the Stampeder offensive momentum continues. Number 31, Messam, not this time. Ball down, and it'll be Armando Sewell with the play.
When the Edmonton defense was really struggling against the run, they didn't have Armando Sewell in the lineup. Boy, he makes them better so many ways.
Sewell with sacks in 5 consecutive games. That's a career high. Doesn't have one yet tonight, but that's a big play to set up 2nd and 11. Here comes the pressure. Mitchell on a roll, cross body, and it's complete.
Got away with it.
The 50, but I think it's coming back on a hold. There is a flag, and it looked like Mitchell got a little extra time.
Holding. Calgary number 53. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Yep, Brad Erdos, the right guard this time, is flagged.
Automation 2nd and 21 from the Stampeders 20.
Take a look at Erdos here. It was late in the play. It was as Bo Levi Mitchell was trying to scramble out of there. He's okay right now, and then now he's got him, and he won't let him go. Chris Edwards can't believe that was like that Hufnagel throw back in the old days. Rolling all the way to the right, throwing across his body, but penalty will bring it back.
So the penalties have been costly. They've cost the Stamps about 50 yards of real estate, and down goes Mitchell. And this time it's Euclid Cummings with the sack, and he has 8 on the year and 3 in his last 2 games.
Take a look at this alignment by Mike Benavides' defense. It's so difficult. Look at this, straight across the board here. So those guys are going to drop after the snap of the ball, but Bo Levi Mitchell doesn't know what defense that's going to be until the ball is snapped. So he hesitates, holds it, because he wasn't sure who's going to drop deep, who's going to come up underneath. He does have an open receiver in the flat, but by then it's too late.
Jamil Smith awaiting at midfield as Maver gets set to launch. Good boot. Drives Smith back to the 49-yard line, ran backwards, and then gets back to the 50. So contained after the 48-yard punt, but Mike Benavides' defense dials it up and posts their 2nd sack of the night. This time, Euclid Cummings brings Mitchell to the turf. Speaking of sacks, 2 for Charleston Hughes, 99 now in his career, tying a Stamps record, and with more on the pursuit of 100. Let's rejoin Dustin Nielsen.
Yeah, guys, it's another good night in a great season of an outstanding career for Charleston Hughes, as he's on the verge of becoming just the 11th player in the history of the Canadian Football League to record 100 career sacks. Now, while he understands the legacy he's building, he told me yesterday that it's all about collecting championships right now for him. On the other side, I asked Mike Riley about playing against Hughes, and he says he doesn't try to worry about him too much, but at the same time, he said he probably has the best spin move in the Canadian Football League.
It is one of his favorites. But it's, you know, it's not just about the moves, the rip move or the spin or the swim move or any of those. It's how you set it up. It's when to use them, when not to. Playing within the scheme of the defense, not freelancing too much, but still making those plays.
Here's Riley looking one way, now another, and throws it away at the Eskimo bench.
And a good decision by 39 right there to not make the late hit. Let's see Charleston Hughes work here. He's got to fight off the double team, play inside, make sure he takes his gap in case Riley ran down the middle, force the throw to happen before Riley wanted to make it and not hit Riley late and draw a penalty flag.
Second and 10 from the 50. Quick hitter inside, incomplete. Intended for Walker, working against Ciante Evans.
Oh, by the way, Charleston Hughes can also do this, and he does it a little bit every now and then. Devon Claybrooks will mix it up, and he'll drop Charleston Hughes into coverage. One of the great aspects of the Canadian Football League is our rush ends, our premier rush ends, are great athletes. Odell Willis, Charleston Hughes.
Just the second 2 and out for the Eskimos. Delicate on the return. And has 13, Johnny Adams the tackle. So it's a 10-point Edmonton lead as Mitchell comes out for this next series in the third quarter. .177 passing yards on the night. We mentioned 9-2 in his career against Edmonton, and that includes 5 wins and 6 starts here at Commonwealth Stadium. Messam to the 25 has a couple.
Picks up a couple of yards, taken down to 25, second and 8.
One of the reasons that there has been improvement in Edmonton's run-stopping defense is Corey Jones in the middle, and the way Adam Konar is playing since he returned to the line. Being able to have those linebackers straight to the football.
Messam 16 away from 1,000. Second and 8. Pressure underneath, caught in traffic. Bagleton brings it down for a first down at the Calgary 40-yard line. 15 for Reggie Bagleton.
Mitchell has to throw it around the pressure. The pressure's going to come right down Main Street, right in his face. And 2 things happen to make this work. First of all, he's got to throw around that pressure while he's fading away, and Bagleton comes back that 1 extra step back towards the line of scrimmage just to get enough separation to make the catch.
Statistician Dave Moyer tells us that Bo Levi Mitchell 9 for 9 here in the second half. And making 10 in a row on that catch. Quick stop by Colhoun on Anthony Parker, who has been shaken up.
Another penalty on the backside.
Number 86, Anthony Parker.
Maybe on Randy Richards again.
Boy, the offensive line that has stood up over the years, all the injuries, has struggled the last couple of weeks.
Randy Richards was going one-on-one on Philip Hunt. And it was fine until Hunt went down, and I think Richards just jumped on him. And then there's
major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 59. That penalty will be applied at the end of the play. It'll be second down.
You know, there's been a bit of a heated discussion since then between Richards and his quarterback. There he is at left tackle. Now he's going to go one-on-one here with Philip Hunt. And that's okay so far. Then Hunt goes down here, he kind of stumbles, and then Richards just piles on him. And
Odell on top of Richards after all that, but the offensive tackle is flagged. Parker, who has a touchdown for Calgary, is on the sidelines. It's now second and 20 after the penalty. Here comes the heat. Mitchell steps up. He's got Daniels up at the 43. So they get back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a couple more, but it's third down.
But important field position, you know, to get, you can get the new set of downs. Didn't get the first, but Well, that 10-yard, 12-yard gain, important just to get a little more field position when you kick it away here. You mentioned the penalties in the last 5 games for Calgary, and they're sort of creeping into this team a little bit over the last little while, and especially those UR penalties, they get you in trouble more than anything.
Very un-Stampeder-like, an average of 99 yards and penalties a game. And that one bounces out just inside the 40, and zeros on the clock. That should be it for the third quarter. Touchdown for Anthony Parker. Oh, we got a flag, so we'll get one more play.
During the return, holding, Edmonton number 42. 10-yard penalty. We'll have one more play in the third quarter.
Koshi Mwamba draws a flag, so one more play. Couple of touchdowns in this third quarter for Jason Moss's crew on the bomb to Zylstra. And the shoe top catch by Bowman. Time of year when you gauge who's getting hot. And it looks like at least through 3 quarters, the Edmonton Eskimos continue to heat up.
Defense improving slowly, but this offense has a lot of weapons.
Underneath, the crosser to Walker makes the first man miss, and up at the 39-yard line. That's enough for a first down at the end of the third quarter. The Edmonton Eskimos will take a 10-point lead to the fourth. A big play by Zylstra set the tone. A response by the Stamps, but then another touchdown for Edmonton. Kind of a deceiving quarter. The Stampeders lose some ground on the scoreboard, and yet their offense perked up.
Yeah, it was the best quarter in the last couple games for Bo Levi Mitchell. He was 11 for 11 in the third quarter, and for the Edmonton Eskimos, 2 great catches in that corner. The Darrell Walker looking over his inside shoulder and then losing the football, flipping around to the other side, and then off the shoe tops for Darius Bowman. 2 outstanding catches that they made look easy.
Not to mention the 77-yard bomb to Zylstra. We're still working on who is McCartney, Lennon, and Harrison, but that's for another show.
And we know who Ringo is.
Ringo had a good start.
He did.
Fidel Hazelton for the first 7 completions went to number 15. So here in the fourth quarter, we don't want to put too much emphasis on this game because Calgary is home and cooled out. They'll host the Western Final, but you get a sense this is important stuff for both teams. Edmonton still vying for a home field playoff spot, which stayed alive with the Winnipeg loss earlier today. But Calgary doesn't want to lose any more momentum with 1 game left in the regular season.
Right, and the Edmonton Eskimos wanting to know that they can beat Calgary. Lost 2 this year coming in, and Calgary's had their number for some time now.
How about 16 of the last 18?
Yeah.
Here's a quarterback option, and Riley's going to leg it himself, and he'll get out of bounds untouched in Calgary territory, a first down.
So yeah, I mean, still a lot at stake for the Edmonton Eskimos to try and get that home field playoff game, and the possibilities still exist there, and you could see it in Mike Riley. But we had a great discussion last night about defensive player nominee for Saskatchewan, whether it be maybe Willie Jefferson or Ed Gaining. I'd like to bring it up again here for the MOP for the Edmonton Eskimos and their nomination. Is it Mike Riley or is it Brandon Zylstra?
It's interesting with Zylstra having such a terrific receiving year, but when they're winning, number 13 looks like the guy that is most important on this team, and they're starting to win again.
Yeah, I agree. It's been just a tremendous breakout year for Zylstra, and has emerged as a superstar in the league. So it wouldn't be a bad choice, but you know, this is Mike Riley. Over 5,000 passing yards again. You know, he went to Bowman and Darrell Walker for the 100-yard games in the win last week against the BC Lions, come from behind win. So, you know, we've seen receivers in the league not get the nod that had over 2,000 yards receiving.
Yeah, the Allen Pitts losing to Doug Flutie on a year that that was controversial. We got a flag with there 13 men in the huddle.
Penalty, second down.
Riley with 3 touchdowns tonight.
Well, the other one, and I pointed it out last week in the BC game, but it's the little things that Mike Riley does and that leadership. Because even as small as when he went off at halftime, he ran all the way to the locker room. And then when he came back out of the halftime tunnel, out of the locker room, he ran all the way back to the field. That may seem like a nothing thing, but it isn't. You run to get back onto the field, and you run off the field to lead the other guys. Don't mull around and walk around. It's small things, but Riley does them all.
What leaders do. Looks like Edmonton was offside as he throws it up. And incomplete. Darrell Walker.
Don't have a challenge. Yeah. Don't have a challenge. So even though we know that's the signal now, he used it once.
Looks like one of the receivers was offside. Let's see if that's how Tom Valesi's crew saw it. Drill came back late. I think maybe he missed the
yeah, that's true.
Well, is it Calgary offside? One of the Eskimos receivers was ahead of
Procedure, Edmonton. Offside, Calgary. Those penalties will offset. Replay second down.
So either side, so they'll replay it.
Couple of fans wondering about the possibility of pass interference at the other end, or at the end of the top of the route there for Darrell Walker, but no flag for that, and we'll go second down over again.
Do it again. Second and 13. Stampeder 50, 5 receivers out. Riley with time. Down the middle, open receiver, and he dropped the football. Corey Watson, first time targeted today, and he can't hang on.
That's a lonely walk, or jog, I should say, back. I mean, it's right over the middle, and watch how he opens up. Riley has so much time to throw here. 18's coming from the right of your screen. There he is. X marks the spot. He's got lots of time to think about it. Riley hits him right in the chest between the 1 and the 8, and it goes through the bottom of the bucket. Now he's got to jog all by himself. Think about that one all the way to the sideline.
There's a Delicate spun off the first contact, but not going very far as he's gang tackled inside the 15-yard line. Well, will that drop cost the Eskimos? They lead by 10, but what should have been an easy catch in the red zone is incomplete. Great night for football and a good battle between provincial rivals. Stamps have the football down by 10, deep in their own zone. Here's Mitchell over the middle, got another completion. And a catch by Kamar Jordan brought down by the safety, Neil King.
It's 12 for 12 for Bo Levi Mitchell, I believe, in this
It's a guy we've seen for a few years.
Yeah, and he's got that big sort of brace on his elbow, too. For Calgary fans, this is a good sign. He is getting back on track.
Big first down to get him out of a hole, and now a pass nearly intercepted by Adam Konar.
Yeah, ball out. Konar, number 38, had a shot at.
Good play made, though, by Aaron Grimes, and maybe even a little bit early. First down play, though, and challenge from
You would have if there had been an interception on the play, I think.
Yeah.
Kamar Jordan, the intended target. So that ends the Mitchell string of completions. 2nd and 10. He steps up and now throws and incomplete. Jordan tried to stretch out, but unable to make the catch.
The primary target here was jammed up by Grimes again. Grimes in the short side is going to step up and take away Bo Levi Mitchell's #1 target. He's to the left of your screen. Mitchell has to hold the ball and then find a second or a third read there. He looked straight at Grimes, who had his man blanketed. He did find Kamar Jordan, and Kamar Jordan almost looked surprised by the time it got to him.
Not sure if Mitchell had enough room to run for a first down, but that hasn't been an option this year. 3 carries, 17 yards all season long.
He's moving to throw.
Low hit by Maver. Flag comes down, no yards as Dexter Janke tosses down Jamil Smith. Just over 10 minutes left here in the 4th. And it's the Eskimos by 10. Jason Moss trying to get off the schneid against the Alberta rival, Dave Dickinson, who's never lost 2 in a row as a head coach. Going to be an interesting final 10 minutes here.
Calgary Stampeders haven't lost back-to-back games going back to 2012.
First and 10, and the Eskimos deliberate here as they let it run down, and now a little fake, and Calvin McCarty's got it. McCarty lunges ahead for a pickup of about 5.
Now take a look, when you think about if you were going to seed teams going into the playoffs, who's the favorite going in? You still, no matter what the outcome of this game, I think you still got to give that to Calgary, but I don't think they're anywhere near as heavy favorites as they were a year ago. 15-win team going into the Grey Cup against Ottawa. Heavy favorites. The last 2 weeks, I'm not so sure they'll be favored, but not by much.
2nd down, Riley throws that incomplete. The flag comes down, and Jamar Wall up in arms.
Yeah, I saw this one live. I'm not so sure I don't agree with Jamar Wall. But let's take a look here. It's Zylstra on the outcut. And Wall cutting underneath. You got to turn the receiver. Not even sure that was catchable for Zylstra.
Hand on the hip, but was there a turn?
Pass interference. Calgary #29. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
The hand on the hip is allowed as long as you don't twist them and don't allow them to catch the ball.
Play happened right in front of an Edmonton bench that reacted very loudly.
But they helped out with that call a little bit.
10th penalty against Calgary on the night, which is
again, yeah,
at their average for the last 6 games. Fresh set of downs at the Stamp 54. Abel off the right side down to the 51 for 3. And it's Singleton with another tackle. And by the way, Alex Singleton has set the Stampeder all-time tackle mark, moving ahead tonight of George White for a single season. I believe that's tackle number 5 tonight for the Stamps middle linebacker. Now we have to say that they didn't keep the tackle tallies back in the days of Wayne the Thumper Harris. 2nd down. Riley runs out of time, runs out of the pocket, and runs for a first down. Jameer Thurman the tackle, but the chains are moving.
Got some blocks up front. Double team on Micah Johnson. Micah Johnson is the tackle that has been pretty quiet tonight, and that's saying something because he's had a great season, but he gets double teamed in the middle, opening up a bit of a running lane. Singleton has a shot at him. He's blocked up, and away goes Riley.
5 carries, 33 for Riley tonight, second in rushing among quarterbacks behind only Jeremiah Masoli. He'll swing it out with the blitz on. Here's Bowman, and Bowman's got another first down. Using the clock, and now
There's 2, and Bowman is number 3. And take a look as they chew up the clock with the lead. Bowman just flares out, just gets out to the numbers there, and then does the heavy lifting after that.
fifth catch for Bowman, and Riley now at 270 passing yards. And here's Gable, little bounce.
And this one, watch this jump cut. I mean, he takes the ball here, delayed handoff, jump cut to bounce it, then cuts back inside. Singleton and Chase. Singleton's made 5 tackles on him. He's had a couple of plays. Been a great battle tonight between Alex Singleton and C.J. Gable.
8th time this season, the Eskimos over 100 yards rushing. As a team, Gable 14 for 70. Now down under 6 minutes left. Quarterback read option. Riley still going. Down to the 6.
Big part of their playbook. Big part of why the Edmonton Eskimos are gaining momentum going into the playoffs here. You know, with this lead in this game, and you see Charleston Hughes bite down on C.J. Gable there. I'm not sure I want Mike Riley running the ball too many times as this game winds down, but it's going to be a big part of their play package going into the playoffs.
You're going to tell him he can't run?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead and try.
What a gutsy effort. I mean, we've seen at least 5 heavy hits when he stood in the pocket tonight.
Yeah.
He's playing with the heart on the sleeve again tonight, as he always does. It's a Stampeder injury on the play. And while they work on him, we'll step aside for just a moment.
Has to go out for at least 3 plays. Tunde Adeleke will come in for him.
Down to 5:35 left. First and goal, Edmonton. Take to Gable. Anybody open? Riley in trouble, and he threw it away.
Good pressure. Good pressure for a couple of reasons. The D-line, the front 7 for Calgary, they take away the run lane, so the play action really irrelevant, and then quickly up the field so that Mike Riley doesn't have time to find a target. Again, no Jagarrett Davis, the Calgary defensive line in this game tonight. That's a big hole to fill.
Second and goal, 9th play of the drive. And Riley, quarterback draw, and he'll get stopped up short. Clutch play there by Charleston Hughes. Limits Riley to a pickup of 3.
Well, and Riley decided to do this because Alex Singleton took off with C.J. Gable. He left the middle of the defense, opening it up. So when Singleton takes off like this, you're going to see there's Charleston Hughes. Singleton's to the top of the left of your screen. He just took off. That's why there's no middle linebacker. Mike Riley wanted to make that decision, but Charleston Hughes closed it down quickly.
Seen some teams in recent weeks go for it in this situation. Jason Moss wants a 13-point lead. And he's got it, although the whistles have sounded.
Time count violation. Edmonton number 9. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Well, now he's taking the points for sure. The 3.
No doubt. I would have been tempted.
Yeah, no, I hear you, because, you know, you're still at two scores.
You do force Calgary to need 2 touchdowns to win in this situation.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2.
But you are up by 2 scores. If you get a touchdown, you make it a 3-score game, and if you don't, you leave Calgary with a long field. But Moss has forgotten more than I know about the game, and he'll prefer the 13-point lead.
No, but we've seen it. We've seen coaches make that decision, and there are analytics that'll suggest that it's the best thing to do, because you're that long field. The chances and the odds of the Calgary Stampeders driving the entire field and scoring are so high from inside their own 5-yard line that it's almost worth it to use all 3 downs. There are some analytics that suggest that's the right decision. We've seen coaches do that.
Now, Mark Trestman's done it a few times in recent weeks. And you could tell that Moss was not happy with the 3 points, even though he opted that way. But they're in a good spot, and can Bo Levi Mitchell change that in the final 4 minutes? Remember, Edmonton was down 16 with 4.5 to go last week and won. Pressure on, and that pass low in the turf at the feet of Messam with the heat on Mitchell.
Armando Sewell, for a guy that's 6'4", 288, he's got great lateral movement too. Not just a great strength to move up the field, but he was on a stunt there. He didn't get back in the backfield that time. I was just so impressed with his ability to move laterally, get out around the horn like he did on that last play.
Well, under 50% on second down conversions tonight. That one is caught, but short of the first down on a quick close by Grimes after the catch by Kamar Jordan. So third down, and the Stamps are staying out there.
No decision at all there. I mean, there was no hesitation from Dave Dickinson. He was
3rd and 2.5.
He was leaving the O out there, looking at the clock that's running, saying, no, this is our chance right now.
Timeout, Calgary.
Now he wants to think about it again.
Now, a team that's in first place.
Yeah, exactly. But
has a little bit of.
He wants it 320 because 322, but he didn't blow it until after I blew it in.
Absolutely, but I think you always want to be making those sound decisions. It's good reps. It's like a player repping the throws or the routes you're running or whatever. It's good reps for those coaches to always make the sound decisions. Clock management, time management, but there was no hesitation. He wanted to leave his offense out there. I think the timeout more than anything was just to get the right play call.
Have to get to the 45. The Eskimos, pass is caught, and they've got a fresh set of downs in Edmonton territory on the catch by Kamar Jordan. 5th catch by Jordan, and 15 on the play.
Crossing route, working on the best defensive back for the Esks tonight, Aaron Grimes. Turn him around.
Mitchell backpedals, throws, complete. He's got Daniels down at the 17-yard line, and again Grimes with the tackle, but just like that, the Stampeders are in business as we hit the 3-minute warning. They survive a 3rd and 2.5 gamble, and now Daniels has them in scoring position. Mitchell in the second half, now 193 yards passing, He has more passing yards in the game now than Mike Riley.
Yeah, just 92 yards in the first half, but has been on fire. And for Calgary fans, that's a great sign. Bo Levi Mitchell is back on target and on the doorstep here.
Stamps can get right back in the game here. First down, crosser. Breskison the catch and lunges to the 9. First catch of the game for Breskison and sets up second and short.
He's made about 3 or 4 throws in this series alone, Mitchell, while he's fading away from pressure, throwing off the back heel, but still has that accuracy. That's the Bo Levi Mitchell we're used to seeing.
Second and 1, handoff, and stuffed in the backfield. What a huge play by Odell Willis, dropping Dominic Williams for a loss.
He either guessed right or by scheme he had someone else in contained behind him, because Odell Willis crashed that. He just came down hard, forgot about containment. He just came down off the edge and crashed that in the backfield.
Almost took the handoff, and it's a loss of 4, 3rd and 5, and for the second time in the drive, they have to gamble. Mitchell down the goal line, touchdown, Kamar Jordan. And with 2 minutes left, they're right back in it.
Yeah, Kamar Jordan, a little move out to the outside and then back into the middle, and Bo Levi Mitchell need a little extra time here. But he's outside release, hard step, plant, and spin back inside. Touchdown.
6 catches, 61 yards, and that touchdown for Kamar Jordan. Now they convert on 3rd and 2.5, and 3rd and 5 for a touchdown. That puts Mitchell over 300 in the game. And the convert good. It's a 6-point Edmonton lead. Johnny Adams and Rennie Paredes exchanging pleasantries, and any penalty now would be costly.
Let's see Mitchell here. Look at the time he's got. Waited for Kamar Jordan to take that outside release, spin back inside, almost like a bang route where you hit it like you're going on the corner or to the out and then back into the middle. Mitchell's been throwing off that back heel, but he's got a monster second half going.
Get noticed like a pro in the 2017 GMC Sierra Elevation Edition.
Seven plays, 75 yards, and Jordan's 6th touchdown receiving this year, 7th overall. And Mike Riley's got 2 minutes to kill or to make it a 2-score game once again. Is there going to be an onside kick? Does Dave Dickinson think 2 minutes is enough to kick away?
Well, I think the way Mike Riley's played in this second half, and CJ Gable, he might just try the onside right now.
Yep. The danger is if you're not successful, you pretty well put the Eskimos in scoring range, but it looks like they are going to the hands team, and it's Rob Maver skying it. It'll be brought down and fielded cleanly there by Corey Watson, or Vidal Hazelton, excuse me.
Yeah, just that kick just a little bit deep. Didn't give his cover guys a chance to get involved. Hazelton had lots of time. It's a tough one. It's a tough kick. You got to be precise. Got to go past 10. That one went 20 or 19. And that's just too far for Singleton and Breskison to get there.
Yeah, take 5 less off that, then they might have got their hands on the football. So the Eskimos need a couple of first downs to work the clock or to get into scoring range. Stamps look for a stop. Gable, that little stutter step, and he found room, and he's got a first down. And down to the 44, getting close to field goal range.
And Mike Riley right over there to pick up his tailbacks in. That's what we need right here. Need to grind down this 2 minutes.
Timeout, Calgary.
And watch Riley chasing him here. He's watching. He sees a great cutback. He sees the new set of downs, and that means he's going to be able to kill another 40 seconds or so. And Riley's right over there saying, "Nice job."
Dave Dickinson uses the timeout. Freezes the clock. After that was a 9-second play.
By the way, Chris, just Bo Levi Mitchell's second half, 17 of 20. And I'm thinking big picture here for Calgary fans. 17 of 20, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the second half.
So Bo's being Bo?
Yeah, Bo's being Bo, and Bo's back on track offensively in the second half.
Gable, by the way, up to 83 yards as he looks for his 4th consecutive 100-yard rushing game.
He'll get it again here.
Feet on the football, and searching for a hole. This time, none opened up. Micah Johnson filled the hole and turned him back.
Looks like he'll lose a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Interesting play call here. It's a 2nd and 10. There's still time for Calgary if they get the ball, get the stop right now. How aggressive will Mike Riley be on this play call?
Huge play. Need 11. Over the middle. They've got it. Brandon Zylstra.
Well, aggressive as you can be, really. I mean, it's aggressive just to throw it because you could run it here, and if you don't get it, you kick the ball, you make Bo Levi Mitchell go the whole field in probably around a minute. This is an aggressive play call because, first of all, it's over the middle. Lots of traffic over the middle. Lots of things can happen. You throw the ball, get intercepted, you're in big trouble. Aggressive play call, and it pays off.
10th 100-yard game for Zylstra this season. 3 for 101. Of course, the big play, the 77-yarder. They can go back on the ground now and chew it up. Gable dropped at the 31. Jamar Wall moved up.
It's about a yard out of it.
Sometimes C.J. Gable makes cuts that tackles himself. They're so sharp.
And Calgary can't stop the clock, so they'll be able to run it down to about 20 seconds left as long as they don't turn it over.
The only knock on Gable in his career has just been injuries. It's just been unlucky with injuries at times, but boy, he's a top-notch back.
Gable again, Charleston Hughes again, and it will be 3rd down. Field goal unit coming out.
Big game for 39. Couple sacks tonight, got to number 99. 3 in the last 2 games. Couple of tackles behind the line of scrimmage, tackles for losses.
Swayze Waters looking at a 38-yard attempt.
For Edmonton fans, Sean White practicing again this week. They missing a guy?
They're going to run it down to 1 second and then call their timeout.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Timeout, Edmonton. Timer, please reset the clock to 19 seconds.
And Danny O'Brien, the holder, wanted to stay away from that position just in case the center thinks, oh, what, should I be snapping it? He walked completely away from there.
But a huge win confidence-wise for the Eskimos. If they can cap it, it would have been devastating had the Stamps come up with a stop and come down and scored to win it 27-26 and continue the mastery. But Waters could end a 4-game losing streak against Calgary. On this kick, up and good. Still a chance the Eskimos can host a playoff game. Time now for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the CFL.
Hey, C.J. Gable had a good game. Brandon Zylstra, big touchdown, couple huge catches, one from Darius Bowman, one from Darrell Walker, but the guy that was taking the hits and the pounding and throwing the ball to all of those players I just mentioned, Mike Riley. Riley's going to finish tonight just under 300 yards. He's our player of the game. Outstanding.
Leads the league in pass yardage, and now with 30 touchdown passes on the season. Eskimos will move to 11-6. They need to finish with more points than Winnipeg after losing both games to the Bombers.
I know it wasn't my guy, but I couldn't. No, I know, because you were coming from this side. That was Charles stuff.
Finishes with
They can still finish fourth.
Yep.
If they lose in Saskatchewan next week, that's going to be a heck of a football game. We'll see Winnipeg in Calgary. And Dave Dickinson's not going to want to hit into the playoffs on a 3-game losing streak.
No, he's not. And a couple of things he's got to clean up. I mean, the good news for Calgary is their offense back on track. That's the good news. They get Garrett Davis. There's a couple of players. Markway McDaniel probably could have played tonight, I'm hearing. See about Markin Michelle. He's got a hamstring, maybe available for the playoffs.
Dominic Williams.
But Dave Dickinson, Chris, he's got to clean up these penalties. And this is something that they were so disciplined through their win streak, and now losing a couple in a row, which hasn't happened since 2012. Penalties reared their ugly heads again here.
Let's just think about that. They went 103 games without losing back-to-back. That is extraordinary. Almost double the next best CFL total ever.
But in the last 2 weeks, looked like mere mortals in a lot of ways.
Andrew Buckley to finish, and he throws a completion out at midfield for Daniels, and there'll be one more play. As far as Daniels, by the way, 8 catches and well over 100 yards in the game, 127.
Say that they may get Roy Finch back for the playoffs too. I know you mentioned that off the top of the show, Chris, and that would be a spark plug. That's instant field position.
Stamps will fall to 13-3-1 if that's falling. There's Williams with a hard run to end the football game, but the Edmonton Eskimos have now won 4 straight, 11-6, and still with a shot at that home playoff.
Corey Watts is still talking about his one drop at the end of a good win for Edmonton. The first win for Jason Moss against the Calgary Stampeders.
Stamps win the Battle of Alberta regular season 2-1. Will there be a Battle of Alberta postseason? And our doubleheader to close out the regular season starts next Friday with the Tiger Cats and Alouettes. And then the Blue Bombers in a big game in Calgary against the Stamps. Once again, the final score here tonight at Commonwealth. Eskimos 29, the Stampeders 20. So long from Edmonton. Let's send you now to SportsCenter.